Okay, today I want to take a look at the PC 1911, the Smith & Wesson Performance Center carry model with the round butt. Comes in this nice little looking gray box instead of the blue one. I would assume that's for Performance Center. You can see it right there. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, let's take a look at what's inside this nice little Performance Center box. There we go. There she is there. It's a rather striking looking 1911 Commander size pistol. It's got some cool features. Take a look at that in a second. Let's get rid of the box. No one really cares about that. We're going to look at it anyway. You get two magazines with it. You get one here, one in the pistol itself, and you get a bushing wrench. And you're going to need this bushing wrench, so don't get rid of it. And then you get a lock and the other, miscellaneous instructions and stuff that we don't care about. Okay, let's take a look at this pistol. It's got a stainless steel slide. It's got the lightning cuts or cooling vents, whatever you want to call them. They're really cool. They're the only manufacturer currently putting that out in a production pistol. These grips are kind of a bold statement. I haven't decided whether I really like them or not. They're a G10 material, but they feel kind of plasticky. And of course they're this orange black color, which I don't know. I haven't decided if I like it or not yet. I don't really dislike it, but I think I'm going to leave them on there for a while. It's got the round butt. It's got checkering all the way down the arch of the butt there, which a lot of guns don't have, especially the ones with the straighter bobtail cut. It's got 30 LPI checkering on the front. It's got a deep cut here, which is kind of nice. It's got the external extractor, which they all do. It's got the fish scales like the E-Series. Very grippy when pulling back, smooth going forward. I really love those. It's got a Briley bushing, which we're going to look at when I take it apart. That's kind of unique. I've never had a 1911 with a Briley bushing before. It does not have night sights. It's got 3-dot sights, which is kind of odd for a carry pistol. It's got the straight serrations in the back to cut down glare. It's got the straight serrations on the front like the E-Series does. It's got a black coated barrel inside and out. It says 45 ACP PC for Performance Center, excuse me. Looks good black, but after racking it, you can see it's starting to wear off, so I think that's going to deteriorate with time. It's got caution, capable of firing with the magazine out. That's lawyer crap. I hate that. Kind of destroys the look of the pistol. It has a hand fit bushing and slide to frame fit, which is really tight. Really tight. I mean, you cannot just barely move it. It's very nice. It's like a custom pistol, like a Wilson or a Nighthawk. It's that tight. It has a throated polished barrel by hand. It also has the fire controls, the sear and the hammer honed by hand, so it has a very nice trigger pull. Okay, let's take a look at that trigger pull that's done by hand and see just how it is. They bill it as a 3.5 to 4 pound. I'm using a Lyman trigger pull gauge, electronic, of course, as you can see. Let's do her one more time. We'll take an average. Okay, there's our average, 3 pounds, 13 ounces. And that's what it feels like. It's a very crisp trigger pull with a nice break, very nice trigger. It's got ambidextrous safeties. While I'm looking at the exterior parts, you can see they're kind of a, I don't know, kind of a phosphate finish. And they, to me, for a pistol of this price, they should match the frame more. But hey, it is what it is. That's what Smith uses on their other guns, and that's what they're using here. They're MIM parts. Okay. So that's the way that is. Don't really care for that, but you know, that's the way it is. This is, you know, not a custom pistol with all bar stock parts, or you'd be paying $3,000 instead of, you know, $1,500. One thing they should have done is given a magazine without this big bumper pad on it. This is an 8-rounder standard magazine that came with the E-Series Model 2. You get 2 of them, like I said, but you know, it kind of ruins the effect of having the round butt when you've got this sticking out. So what I suggest is using a Wilson Combat with the Wilson Combat lower plate, whatever you want to call it, the short bumper pad. It's metal. There it is there. It maintains that arc, and it's a little bit low, but it gives you enough for rapid reloads. That's what I use anyway with it for carry purposes. I haven't carried it, but with my other bobtail. So that's an idea. One of the flaws I could see is it's got some machining marks in this area of the slide. Don't know if my camera, it's hard to tell if the camera's actually seeing it or not. Let's give you a close-up look at that. And to me, especially for a hand-done pistol, it should be, you know, smooth. Anywho, there's a closer look at it there. It's got a full-length guide rod, which I could do without, but I'm not adamantly against it, so I don't mind. I like the Performance Center logo engraved on there. That's pretty slick. That's why you're paying that $1,500 for that hand working. There it is there. So that's pretty slick. Alright. Let's see what she looks like inside. If I can do this on camera. The bushing is very tight. Okay, this Briley bushing. So you're definitely going to need the wrench. Be real careful when you do this. You know, there is some spring pressure on there. There we go. And I didn't even launch it across the room. How cool is that? Move your slide stop. Slide assembly off there. Pull out your spring and guide rod assembly. It's got the beveled back to the plug there, which is nice. And even now, this bushing is really hard to turn. Theoretically, it'll break in during firing, and you won't need a wrench to take it apart, because that kind of sucks too. And there's the Performance Center barrel. It's black inside and out, which is kind of odd. It's been coated on the feed ramp too, which is very smooth. It's been polished and throated. Now this bushing has an insert. It's this brass colored insert in here, which fits on the barrel, and then that moves inside the bushing itself, so that during lockup the barrel can move up and down in this manner while the bushing stays completely still in the slide. So theoretically that's going to give you a identical lockup every time and help accuracy. Okay, so that's a fancy little part there, and that's why you need the wrench. I think they fitted it obviously tight because it does hold the barrel firmly, so they had to do that. But there's your Briley bushing. Kind of cool. First time I've ever had one of those. The wrench part sucks, but this looks pretty cool. I don't know how long it's going to last or how it's going to work, but for what it's worth. Let's take a look inside the slide. It doesn't have any machine marks except where I've already showed you. You can probably see them there. In that light you can see the serrations, tool marks, whatever you want to call them, there. Another place there's some tool marks, which is kind of disconcerting, which I didn't see when I initially bought it because it was slathered in oil, is around the breech face by the firing pin hole. You can see pock marks, casting marks if you will, something like that. Let's see if I can get a close-up of it. There it is there. It doesn't seem to affect functioning. I've put 100 rounds through it flawlessly, some ball that I got. I don't have any more ammo though. I'm going to have to try and find some so I can shoot it some more, but it was completely flawless. No malfunctions, no brass hit me in the face. Worked like it's supposed to. The slide's numbered with the serial number of the gun, or part of the serial number of the gun anyway, so they can identify it. The bushing also, where is it there? Right there you can see it. It's been engraved with a pencil so it matches the frame. And I believe the barrel is too. Let's see. Maybe not. The barrel is marked with the serial number. Just found it right there. It's lightly penciled in there. Keep them all together because they're done by hand in the factory by the Performance Center. So they're all matched. Anyhow, that keeps the slide together with the frame. Let's take a look at the frame. It's a scandium aluminum alloy frame. There you can see it's had 100 rounds through it. It's starting to show some wear in there already. The feed ramp is anodized with whatever they use to coat their frames. I would assume it's anodizing, I'm not sure, but it's very smooth, very well polished. The scratch here was kind of irritating. This came from the bottom of the slide release, which had a sharp little edge on it. Like I say, it's a MIM part. So, of course, this happened just from me manipulating it. This was a brand new gun. So that kind of pissed me off, but fortunately it's mostly covered when the slide release is in the gun. But you can see I took that edge off right there just with a little light stoning so it wouldn't scratch anymore. I think I got it all. Feels pretty smooth. But it's a MIM part, metal injection molding. Most modern guns use these. If you buy a Wilson Combat or a Nighthawk or something like that, you get bar stock machine parts, but otherwise you're getting MIM. It's got a slightly beveled magazine well, and it looks pretty darn slick. Alright, let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about the things I like about this gun. I like the way it looks. I like these lightning cuts because they're unique to this particular model. I like the grip serrations there, or whatever you want to call them, the fish scales, or whatever Smith calls them, because they're very grippy one way and smooth the necks. I like that. I like this cut here. It fits my finger well. Okay. I like the serrations in the back. I like the flat top with the serrations, but you can get that with an E-Series. I like that. I like the 3-dot sights. I wish they were night sights, but not a deal breaker. Okay. I like the round butt, and I like the fact that the round butt has checkering down the back side. Now it may catch a concealment garment. I haven't tried that yet because I haven't fully vetted it for carry. But my other bobtails that I've had were smooth on the back. And when I'm firing this to where it fits into my hand, I can really feel that grip, and I like that feeling in there. It feels good. Like I say, the grips are kind of hit and miss. They're G10, but they're not that sticky. They kind of feel like smooth plastic with like maybe just a slight talcum grit feel to them. So they're kind of not as aggressive as I'm used to. The color, like I say, is kind of, I don't know if I like the color or not. I don't dislike it. It kind of gives it the pistol a striking appearance, which is probably what Smith was going for.
Okay, I love the trigger pull. Trigger pull's awesome. The slide frame fit is awesome. I mean, you're getting custom, you're getting a custom pistol fit, at a upper scale production pistol price. So just that right there makes this kind of a cool value. If you can't afford a $3,000 Nighthawk or Wilson, maybe you can swing a $1,500 Smith & Wesson Performance Center. I went out and fired 100 rounds through it, and was kind of disappointed in that. For me anyway, the sights were all my stuff was going to the left. I have a segment after this where I'm actually, you can see it in action, see it shooting from the first shot, and then I'll just edit in some of my other shooting there. And I fired 100 rounds at one target, which I show the target, but I didn't bring it close enough for my camera really to see the holes in it, but you can take a look at it. And I'm not the best shot, but normally I'll get some, good center, bullseye hits. I'll get some out of 100 rounds, and I did not get one bullseye. Everything was to the left, so I know it was the sights and not just, my crappy shooting. So I have moved the sight to the right, so when I get some more ammo and take it out, I'm sure it's going to be hitting, right there where I want it to. My other E-Series pistol, not a Performance Center, just an E-Series, was also firing to the left, so maybe that's just me, or maybe that's a Smith trait, I don't know. Those are the things I like about this, so I like a lot about it. What I don't like about it was the machining marks in the slide, the scratch from the sharp edge on the slide release. That's something, if you're doing something by hand, you could hit that when you're assembling it, but it's easy to miss, so I'm not, but I gotta complain about something, right? I mean, it's $1,500 here, so things I don't like the color of the slide release or the safeties, any of the parts, which are the same as their E-Series. It's, a Smith part. That's the way they do their parts. Not a surprise there. But when you're talking $1,500, you're getting a little bit up there, and maybe I'm asking too much, but if they were painted to match the frame, I think it would be cooler. But not a deal breaker. I mean, here it is in my hand. The lightning cuts here that I said I liked before, I also dislike them because for a carry pistol, I think they're going to collect lint, they're going to collect dirt. If you ever dropped it in the sand, God help you. They're big enough that stuff's going to get in there. But that's part of the allure of this pistol, and it's not my only 1911, so that's not a, that was actually a plus more than a minus, but it is a minus for carry. I haven't carried it yet, so I don't know how much stuff's going to collect in there. You guys that carry, you get particles from your holster if you use, leather holster. You get lint from your coats and concealment garment, whatever you're using. And I'm pretty sure these are going to suck that up. So I think they're awesome, but, practicality for carry purposes, maybe not the best thing. But like I say, the only production pistol with them, so if you're adding a 1911 to, maybe you've already got one, you want to add another one to your, don't want to say collection, but, firearm collection, this is definitely one that's unique. It has a unique appearance. There's not a lot of them out there, so, it has that visual appeal to it. Very nice pistol. And that's about all that I don't like about it. It works, like I say, the trigger's great, the slide is tight. It seemed to be accurate except for everything was to the left. Jury's still out on that until I get the sights regulated. Oh, I forgot the magazine, which I mentioned before. I don't like that large bumper pad on it. Normally, for reloads, this would be fine. You can get a positive in there if you ever had to reload in a self-defense situation. A better bet might be like one of those new Kimber mags, any flat base magazine that holds 8 rounds. Or if you're a Wilson Combat fan, they have an 8-round magazine, the 47D. You can get that metal flat base to it. And it does stick out a little bit, but it gives a little bit more spring room, to get in there. And it fits in there low enough that if it continues that arc over the round tail, so your garment's not going to have a corner, which is the whole point of the round butt design. So I plan on using it with these Wilsons. I have tried it with a Chip McCormick Power Plus magazine. They have the round follower so they won't peck the frame. I've talked about that on my Kimmer videos. And they also accept the lower profile Wilson base, snaps right on perfectly. But they will not work in this gun. I tried the one that I have that I use for my Nighthawk bobtail, and it would not lock in. It was just a little bit, just would not go in far enough. So if you go that route, if you have one of these pistols and you want to do that, you may have to file, you know, the top edge here of this base off to get it to seat all the way up in there. So, you know, if you've got some chips and you just want to buy some of the Wilson bottoms, you might want to think about that before you do it, you know, purely for cost purposes. This magazine's not going to peck your frame. It's got a controlled, you know, got a drawn blank. The feed lips here are slightly gone out, so it's going to release the cartridge quicker than the Wilson, but the Wilson's worked fine in this, so I can't much about that. But the follower doesn't move forward, and these have worked good. I've used these in my E-series, so these are fine mags. Yeah, it's just that bumper pad that sticks out, so I'm not complaining about the magazine itself. It's stainless steel. It looks pretty good. It has no markings on it except 45 ACP, so I don't know if Smith makes these or if these are made by somebody else. It has a patent number on the follower there, but no features as far as who makes it. It's just a patent number. So anyhow, there's my review of the Wilson Smith & Wesson Performance Center PC 1911. It's a quality gun for $1,500. It's not cheap, but it is unique. Like or hate it, it's pretty awesome. So, thanks for watching.